Hey up fellow brew tubers. Well, today I'm doing something completely different that I think is going to possibly upset one or two people. I'm going to call this series of vlogs tight-arsed tips. Basically, I got this idea from my mum, God rest her soul. She used to say to me many years ago, and continue to say to me, if you look after the pennies, the pounds will look after themselves. Now, with that in mind, I'm thinking to myself, why not incorporate that with this brewing malarkey? So that's what I intend to do. So this is number one of tight-arsed tips for brewers. Okay, to start with, let's do something that's really penny pinching, and this makes the point of looking after the pennies, and the pounds will look after themselves. So, tip number one: when you have a beer, the old bottle of I don't know, what's this, Marston's Pedigree, you see the old cap there? When you take it off, whack it in one of these, a little jug, look, and I'll hold it there, look, it's going to fall out, but you get me meaning. What I've got in there is water and a squirt of washing up liquid, tiniest little dribble. Remember, don't spend a lot on your washing up liquid for this job, else it'll be counterproductive. Whack them in there, and when you're ready to bottle some beer, give them a swirl round with some fresh water, swirl them out a couple of times. I mean, you could have a jam jar full of the things, I guess, but don't leave them in water all the while. Bloody dog. Don't leave them in water all the while, just take them out, dry them if you're not going to be using them, because they do go a bit discoloured and that. But when you come to reuse them, fill it with water, 2 drops of your steriliser, whatever you use, Star Sam, a couple of drops of that in, mix it up, let them settle, and then reuse them. So let me show you what I mean. Fucking dog. Okay then, tight-arsed tip number 2. Now this is a real lifesaver, this one. Now I've read on Facebook and other little vloggeroonies that people are getting problems with the gas being used very, very quickly, and it's normally through leaks. So all you need to do is, when you've got your keg in the old fridge, make sure you get it up to the carbonation you want, and then lower the pressure right down to serving pressure. And I normally have it about 3 pounds per square inch or whatever it is. Any road up. The trick is, you see this knob on here, turn the bugger off. The knob to that, turn it off. Don't leave that on once you've got it to serving pressure. You'll get about 10 pints out before it needs topping up with a bit more gas. And all you do is open it up, get the gas in, job's a good one. Guaranteed no leaks, and if it does leak, it's the gas providers are at fault, not you. Switch the bugger off. No need to leave it on. Tip number 2. Okay, tip number 4, I think it's 4, getting that way. Now whatever you do, don't buy bottles, especially them plastic ones. They're bloody horrible, unless of course you're sending them out for, you know, beer mail or whatever, because they stand up better than glass of guess. But even so, the reason I don't like the plastic bottles is I'm a bit of an idle git, I guess, and I wash my beer bottles in the dishwasher. always have done, never had an issue. Now people will probably call me for that. That's why I said at the beginning of the video that I might get a few thumbs down on this. I'm only telling you what I do. I get my beer bottles from friends, used bottles from beer that I've actually bought in the past. Can you believe? Bought beer. No, don't do that. If all else fails, go to your local pub or club and ask if they've got any spare bottles. I'm sure they'll want to get rid of them anyway, because they just bung them in the recycling bin. Once you've got them, get the labels off the best you can. There'll be tips later on to show you the best way of getting the labels off. Now a lot of people like to use the brown bottles. I couldn't give a monkey's shit what colour my bottle is, to be quite honest. I just don't get it. They say that the light affects the beer taste in the long run, but it's not in the bottle that long, and I'd bloody do it any road up. So yeah, so bottles. Once you've drank your beer, what I like to do, mostly I'm in home because I'm an home brewer, and what I do is run it under the tap, put my finger on it and whack whack whack, get all the sediment out if there is any sediment, swill it out, swill it out, swill it out. Next tip, tip 5 is I always store my used bottles in a dustbin outside, and what I do, I fill it with warmish water for a start, and then I put bleach straight into the bucket, a good, I don't know, half a litre of bleach I guess, and then I fill it right up to the lid and I sink all my bottles into it after I've done that in home. When I want to do a bit of bottling, I don't do much in the way of bottling. I do as many as I need for friends or whatever. Now this will put you off wanting beer mail from me, but I normally just put it into the take it out of the bin, into the dishwasher, out of the dishwasher, and then I use the bottle. I don't normally sanitize. I've never had an issue with it because it's come straight out of the dishwasher, and that's just come straight out of the dishwasher. I do probably half a dozen bottles at most. I always bottle from the keg because you get less sediment basically. So that's tip number 6 I guess. So cracking on with these. So also tip 7, I think it's tip 7. I've not got a beer wand. I've not got one of those fancy squirting the gas malarkey jobbies. And to be honest with you, I did all my lads' wedding, so I guess I took a big risk. I did over 150 bottles I guess, and what I did is simply got the bottles fresh out the dishwasher. I went straight up, let's put you on big. I went straight up to the beer tap, I tipped it at an angle like that and just gently poured the beer. Now I think that is pushing out the air, because we don't want air in there, and the top bit will be full of foam when we're there. And there's the foam coming to the top, so all of the air has been pushed out of that. I then get my used cap, press it on, and then I get me doofer and just reset it. It's just the same as it's always been. You can't press it off, it's just as safe. So I think that'll do for today's tight arse tips, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to try and do a few more tight arse tips. Now the reason I says quite a few of you might fall out with me is because it's all braces and belts and braces with a lot of brewers, and I myself, I'm a bit free and easy, I guess. I've never had any issues with contamination or bad beer or anything like that from what I do. So it's up to you whether you want to do what I'm recommending. If you ruin your beer, don't blame me. It's just the way I do it. So I suppose it's a whatever. Anyway, look, thanks for watching the old fart, and hope you enjoy the series of clips that I'm going to be putting forth on YouTube. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to the silly old bugger, will you? Cheers.